thought it was more routine testing.
No. The bread and butter for all these people today is routine. But they are all clear that the future is genetics. If they stick to routine, they're dead. Because the volumes are dropping, the pricing is getting down to zero. And you should remember, a lot of routine tests are done on what I call cheap equipment. And some of this equipment can be just ordered by somebody who has a huge, reasonable volume. It'll become very local, very geography-based. So you cannot send these. Today, genetic tests, I know that, for example, a lot of American companies are doing genetic tests which are done in Asia and Middle East. So a doctor in Middle East is writing a test, and that test is being conducted by LabCorp or by Cleveland Clinic or by some of these guys, which is going to stop because those capabilities will be built up locally. So that's one area where there will be an expansion of the market for Europeans, where they can go into these countries which were exporting so far to set up their own shop. That could help them consolidate the top line tubes and volumes. I think on the pricing side, I think the volume side, I think still seeing on genetics, the volume side, then there is a lot of DTC, which I was trying to push at Eurofins, which is, there are a lot of people who are more and more aware of the genetic tests, which can be there for what you eat, for example, right? So today there is a lot of tests which can give you earlier the food allergies was more like it was food intolerance, a really 500-pound rip-off without really giving something concrete. Today, for about 1,000 pounds, you can get a very nice food genetic panel done, which can tell you with your genetic profile what you eat, what you don't eat. So I think that is going to drive up the volumes. There are a lot of small companies which do that, but they do it in a silly way, but this is more genetic, so it will be done nicely. Exercise in gyms. I think in every gym, you will see people selling genetic tests in the future because it's a huge market, people who are conscious about their health. You can do a lot of genetic tests which can tell you how your body reacts to the kind of exercise you do. So which is fantastic, which could be part of your training regimens. There are many teams, sports teams today, in football, in cricket in India and other places who do DNA tests for their players today. That's going to go up. That trend is going to keep rising. So there is a lot more avenues of the genetic test, which is going to prop the volumes there. But the pricing is going to be a bit under pressure. So it's going to become a game of innovation. Who can innovate fast? Who can drive the scale? Who can provide best customer service? Because you have to remember one thing. In clinical testing, switching a supplier is a pain because there are too many things attached to it. There is the logistics, there is the customer support, there is the communication of the results in the right format for the doctor. There are too many small things that make up what you call a customer service. And customer service, it's like a restaurant business, You really need to serve the food in good quality and serve it well to keep the customer. And for a customer who likes that, he doesn't want to move and go somewhere else because every time he goes, there's somebody welcoming him with a smile, somebody who knows what he likes or she likes, and he serves to him in the right time, in the right place, at the right price.
Okay. Can we just take a step back for a second, just to understand, if I think about routine testing versus the genetic testing, how big are these for Eurofins, just roughly? Because I'm looking at the pharma division.
I don't think I should be sharing those numbers. No, these are not public numbers. I would not want to share those. Sorry.
No, of course, but I'm just trying to understand because all we see is a pharma division, which is 60% of revenues, right? Which is, I don't know, we're talking more than 2 billion. Is this routine testing, the majority? Is it a small part?
Routine is the majority today. Today, routine is the majority, yes.
Okay.
And that is for everybody. Genetic, for all players, it's the same. Genetic is small but growing very, very, very fast. It's multiplying at the speed of light. Like that. The growth has to be genetic. And routine, just remember, there's something between routine and genetic. There's called specialty testing. For example, kidney stone analysis, analyzing your kidney stones. And there are some specialized tests for your breath analysis and things like that, which happen. And I think Eurofins has great competencies that, especially in Lyon. But I think they need to be sharing those competencies, which will be a small driver of value, I think, so that will go up. And one area you have to be careful is that I think there'll be a curve. So genetic will go like crazy. So revenue goes up very nicely. Then revenue comes a little bit under pressure. But then you will see a very nice margin expansion because a lot of genetic tests that are done can be done on qPCR, which is a much cheaper technology, but you need enough volume for them to work. So as the volume of a genetic test